prefix protocol. Options Greeks. Hello and good evening. Hello and good evening. Don't you hate people who repeat themselves? Well, what if you actually like repetitive things? What if that's what you're actually seeking? And are you smiling yet, by the way? Anyway, so in this particular episode, this is part of my Perl one-liner series, and I've been giving a lot of really cool things you can do in Perl. If you're not subscribed already, definitely want to subscribe now because I'll be doing a lot more of these videos. Lots of really cool things you can learn. In this particular episode, we want to find the repetitive stuff, man. We want to find that stuff. So let's go into our file. Here's the text file we're working with. You will smile, then subscribe to CPU. So this is repeated over and over and over again. So we want to, that's one thing that we're looking for. This is a repeating data string, whatever you want to call it. This stuff is the same thing over and over again. I want to see that. This is unique, don't care about it. That's an empty line, don't care about it. Don't care about that, don't care about that. Ah, more repetitive things. I want to see this. I want to see, I think that is it. So we're just looking for repeating lines. Now, take note of the fact that we have, let's see, repeating line, repeating. So this is repeated. And you see it says again repeating line, exact same thing, but there's something unique between these two and this. So this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for consecutive repeats, right? We don't want it broken. We know this is the same as this is the same as that, but it's broken with this. So I don't want to see that. I just want to see these and these, right? So, how do you do it, man? Well, that's why you're here, and that's why I'm here. So I'm going to show you how you do it. So, Perl, of course, you start with Perl. You go NE, and then you're going to go in your single brackets, as always. Now, as you saw before in a previous episode, when you're doing the dash NE, you're going to have to put an implicit print in there. And then you're going to also go and say, in this case, when do you want to print? See, we've got to put some logic here. I don't want to print everything. I want to print with logic. So I want to print if. You knew that one was coming, didn't you? So print if, and I want to put a space. I want to put $sign, then I'm going to put A. So basically creating a buffer to hold the results. So we have the $sign A curly brackets. What goes in a curly bracket? $sign and an underscore. All right, and now what I want to do is I'm going to do a plus plus at the end, and now we need to specify our file, which is file.txt, and that's your command, Perl space dash NE space single brackets, single quotes, single brackets, oh man, single quotes, print space if space $sign A, and then you have curly bracket. Are you guys typing this? You should be typing this in on your terminal. Curly bracket, then inside the curly brackets, $sign underscore, close your curly brackets, and then plus plus, C plus plus. Anyway, so close your single quote, and then space file name. All right, so let's go ahead and run that and see what happens. Boom! What happens? So I got the repeating group up here. That's what I wanted. And then we have the repeating line down here. And then we have another repeating line. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the file. So this shows us all the repeating lines. So we picked up this, and you're probably wondering, why is this in there? Because that's not repeating. Well, when you see things like this, part of scripting, you have to be able to deduce things, figure things out, look at the data, and figure out the logic, right? So let's see what happens if, does it just throw in the last line? Is that what it is? Because that's the only thing I can see there. It's not a repeating group. There is another line that says repeating line, but there's this in between it. So let's put something random at the bottom and just see what happens there. So I'm going to go random and save and run it again, and it doesn't do that. So it doesn't do it. So it's not just that it's putting the last line. Let's see if it's putting the last line that is, what on earth did I just do? Talking and typing at the same time. I don't know what colon Q, what I was thinking. Anyway, so let's see if we take something that was repeated earlier. So let's try that, right? Try to logically figure out what the issue is here. What's happening with the last line here? So there you have something. This is a line that's repeated previously, but not in this particular case. So let's go ahead and get out of here, and we're going to go ahead and run this again. And what do you know? So that is the logic on the last line. Whatever you have on the last line, if it's repeated elsewhere in the file, it's going to be displayed there. All right? Now, for other items, they have to be consecutively repeated, right? Because you see here, it says, just in case some of you guys are missing this, you see it says only 2 lines where it says repeating line, repeating line. But in the file, there's more than 2 lines that are repeating line like that. You have these 2, right? And then you have this one here, the exact same thing as those 2 above. But we didn't get this because it's not repeating. It's got unique above, unique on the bottom, right? So the only reason why we're seeing the final one showing up is because on the final line, you're going to show, if the final line of your file is something that is repeated elsewhere, it's going to show up basically, all right? And that's just based on the logic of how this particular code that we use works. Now, if you don't want it to do that, if that's a problem for you, then you, my friend, are going to have to figure out a creative way to eliminate this problem. Logically, just without me even thinking about it, I might want to think that the last line is always going to be potentially something I don't need. Because let's just say the last 2 lines of my file are repeating, right? So the last 2 lines of my file are this. Then I'm going to see the last 2 lines showing up as what it is in the file. It's going to be left alone. It's a repeating group. I said show me repeating groups, so it's going to show up in my results. So if I put in just to fix this last line issue, if I put something where I just say don't show me the last line, all that's going to do is that's going to show me just one of the repeating groups. So I'm just going to see, instead of me seeing the 2 lines duplicated, I'm just going to see 1 line like this. All right, but knowing my script and testing it out and knowing how it works, I will know what that means. That's going to mean to me that there's actually 2 last lines have the same thing. All right, and that's only going to be based on you coding the script to behave that way. That's really up to you. All right, so thanks for watching Computer Programming University, Unix, shell scripting, Perl, Python, networking, app development, and smiles everywhere right here on this channel. Definitely go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Options Greeks.